Hi, my name is Julie and I make cards and other items. I have a little business called Little Lemon Press where I sell some of my cards and other items. And today I'm going to make a project that falls into the category of other items. I'm going to make a little mini tote bag using this paper. And these are the dies. I'm going to not use all of them, but a few of them to turn this paper and cardstock into a little mini tote bag. So I wanted to talk a few minutes before I get into the actual project about this. So how I kind of picked, I started with picking this paper. I wanted to use this paper as my bag. This is going to be the outside of my bag, and the inside you will see the inside. And then what color should I make my handles and accessories? So I wasn't quite sure because there's only white, and I didn't really want white or this little pink called Flirty Flamingo. And so I use this. I'm going to get these come from Stampin' Up. The paper comes from Stampin' Up and the dies. And so this is their current catalog. And I decided to use their color coach. No, it's kind of small, but to help me to decide what color did I want to use an analogous color. So here is Flirty Flamingo, the color and the paper I'm using. Did I want to use an analogous color here or more of a complementary color? And so I decided to go with complementary because my last bag had that. So this is mostly Melon Mambo with a what color is it? Granny apple green color. And I just liked how they the complementary colors kind of helped just looked nice. But I've also used some complementary colors. This one mostly has this purpley color called Petunia Pop, and then in the paper, and then I use that for the handle and accessories and stuff. But so I was kind of between that. So here is the color, and then I was going to go across, and it was Garden Green, Shaded Spruce, or Pretty Peacock. I don't have Shaded Spruce, so it was between Garden Green and Pretty Peacock. I ultimately went with the Garden Green, although I have this here. Pretty Peacock was nice too. It's a little bit more blue. But so we'll see how this goes. But that was my thinking of trying to figure out how to, come up with the different colors. Stampin' Up! Does a nice job of having their colors match and coordinate. So you can't go wrong. So anyway, so I'm going to get started with cutting. First I need to cut. I have this paper ready, so I'll die cut everything in a minute. But first I need to get my 6x6 paper and turn it into two pieces of 3x5. So I'm first going to cut at the 5, line it up, and then turn it. So now I have two 3x5s. Okay, and it's not directional, so it doesn't matter which way. If it was, then I would have to pay a little bit closer attention when I am cutting. So I'm going to start with cutting die cutting the actual bag. So I'm just going to get my die cutting machine. Here we go. So I have to run everything through twice because I have one set of dies, and since I'm making more of a 3D project, so that I have both sides there. So this large die here cuts the bag, and so here we go. And it has a little faux stitching to make it look like a real bag. Well, I need to get some new plates here. They're ordered, so they should be coming in next week. And then it's scored. That will help me in a few minutes when I go to assemble everything. So I'm lining it up, and it just fits on the 3 to 5, so I can get two both sides out of a 6x6 piece of paper. It just fits. All right, there's side 2. So that is the bag, and now I'm going to take out the handles and the little straps. They have other things. I'm not using all the dies here, but I am, they have a water bottle and lotion and suntan lotion and stuff. I am going to use these little hearts. I'll show you those in a minute. But first I'm going to, in this garden green color, this complementary color, get these straps and handles these are pretty thin, so they kind of stick to the die a little bit, but they have these little holes here. I just poke them out and they come out. These are very delicate, the handles. If you have thinner cardstock or you were worried about it, you could cut out 4 and double up. I'll show you, but I'm only going to do 2 today, but you could cut out 4 of these to help that by doubling up and reinforcing the handles. Since they stick out from the card, you could put like 2 layers together, because this can get a little bit, you know, bent out and about depending on where you're putting them, where they are out in the world. All right, almost done with the die cutting. One more piece, which is the cute part. Well, it's all cute, but the sunglasses, to kind of hang some sunglasses on the bag. So I'm going to put it on this side so you can see. So this is the die with the frames and the lens, and I'm actually going to use the Flirty Flamingo for the frames. And I line them up because it's one die, and I want one color for the frames and a different color for the lens. So I'm going to put the frames here, and I'm going to line it up and hope it doesn't really move. It's usually pretty good, but I just had a small scrap, so I don't have a lot of space in case it wiggles, but hope for the best, or I'll be making it twice. Here we go, I think. Kind of, sort of. So anyway, these little, there's 1 and 2. I'm not going to use these, but I could. These little hearts cutting out when they're making the frame. And so sometimes I put them on projects, sometimes I save them for others. Here's this very delicate small frame. This one I did do the insert and put it on the other side, but I'm not going to on today's. The other side is here. These are also very fragile. This middle part is super fragile. It bends and breaks pretty easily, so I gotta be careful with that. All right, so now that's away and everything, we can start to assemble. Everything is cut and ready for assembly. So I'm gonna start with the bag part. Put away my little hearts. I have made a lot of them, so I have a whole little thing of little hearts, so I can save them for other projects. Okay, I've made quite a few because I made a lot for a bridal shower, and you can make them for parties and other gift bags, little party favors and whatnot. So they're small, so they don't fit a lot of stuff in them, like candies, chocolates, gift cards, lip gloss, little things can fit in these little bags, but they're kind of cute for a little party favor. So anyway, here's my 2 bags, and they are scored. I'm not sure if you can see the lines here, which is helpful. So I'm just going to fold. I don't need to fold super hard, but just fold in on all of the score lines. So there we go, and now I'm going to assemble or put on and I start with the vertical straps, and I use the score line to kind of help me, so I put them all in the same relative location, you know, not perfectly, but there, over there, oops. So a little glue, don't need a ton. Dry on there, okay, and it dries clear, which is nice. And I'm using these reverse tweezers just to kind of help me hold it. As you can see, these reverse tweezers have some glue on them. So I put the vertical ones on first because the bottom can be covered by this piece and it just looks a little nicer. And I glue this up. I'm going to put a little extra glue on the edge because that part is at the bend and it can come undone more easily. So just a little bit extra. And when I'm lining it up, I'm using that score line. This is going to be the bottom that folds in. So I'm just using that score line. And I am not putting on the handles just yet. I will put them on later. And what I was talking about earlier is if you make 4 of them, you could do 2 on each side and kind of put them together, glue them together if you were concerned and wanted it a little bit sturdier. But it's pretty good. I don't mind I broke a few, have bent a little bit, but the cardstock is really good, so it's not too bad. All right, so I'm going to assemble this side, and I'm not going to do that handle just yet until I get the whole bag together because it gets in the way and I don't want it bending as I'm assembling it. So that was one of the times when I had things bend and I was trying to assemble and it was just getting in the way. So we're getting there. Okay. This one. Again, I'm kind of lining it up. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to put them together and flip them over. This is our inside, and I'm just going to put glue on one side. These are little flaps that go inside to kind of help keep it, that there's no extra hole in there and keep it separate. So it stays separate as a bag. So I'm going to put a little glue on there, and then again, the score lines are going to be really helpful so that I line them up and move it into place so that they line up nicely. And then a little insert in and then just glue. See how it's coming on. Okay. Because of the bend, I'm going to glue just one side again. It doesn't really matter which side, unless there's something you want to, a blemish you want to hide or something you want to be seen, but it doesn't matter usually. Glue it together. Same thing on this side. A little glue. Stick my little tab in. Oh, see how it's coming undone a little bit. I gotta go back over there. Hold it down a little bit more. Make sure it sticks. That's the little pop that part that can pop up. So I'll just go through and kind of check my little. All right, so structure of the bag is intact. Now I'm putting on the little handles. This project doesn't take too long. The longest part was me deciding which color I wanted for these handles and deciding. Okay, so now I'm going to make these cute little heart sunglasses. They're 2 pieces. Again, I'm going to use my reverse tweezers and do a little bit of glue, the tiniest bit of glue, these teeny tiny dots, just try to line it up. There we go. But one good thing, like I said, this glue dries clear, so even if I see it now, I won't in a few minutes. And then it'll look like they are hanging off the bag. Right, and there is my little bag. I can put some chocolate, candies, gift cards, a little nice little party favor, or a little small little gift bag for somebody. All right, hope you enjoyed this project. Thanks for watching.